What's going on, guys? My camera's gonna die. Okay, much better. So, I just got back from the gym, getting some client work done, doing some check-ins. But what I wanna talk about in this video is what exactly is a mini cut? How do you do a mini cut? And should you be doing a mini cut? Let's get it, people. All right, guys, I should have introduced myself. Kind of rude to me. To anyone that's new that's watching this video, my name is Sumner Healey, and I've been training for 5 years, and I'm the guy that gets normal guys and girls in amazing shape through online and in-person coaching. But what we're gonna talk about in this video is what exactly is a mini cut? Because if you're like not super involved in the fitness industry, if you're not a fitness model, if you're not a fitness competitor, the idea of a mini cut is probably something that you've never really heard, and it might be foreign to you. But the reality is, if you're doing any kind of bulking, you're doing any kind of cutting, or you have any goals with your fitness, like you want to get in shape by a certain date, or you're taking a trip and you want to look a certain way for that trip, doing a mini cut and having the understanding of how to do a mini cut is going to be a really awesome thing to have in your fitness tool belt. So typically, like a normal cut, like right now I'm on prep for a show, and this cut is gonna be about 14 weeks, 15 weeks when it's all said and done. But an average cut is gonna be like 16 to 24 weeks. I was already pretty lean going into this. I did a very subtle bulk over the last few months, so it wasn't too hard for me to start dropping pounds. But if you've been in a serious bulk, you're gonna prep for a show, you're gonna be in like that 16 to 24 week range typically to get stage ready. But let's say you're not a fitness competitor, right? You're a guy or a girl, you wanna get in shape for some trip that's coming up, or for a birthday party, or for your wedding. The idea of a mini cut is to condense that cutting period to about maybe 2 to 8 weeks. I mean, 2 weeks is really extreme, and the results are gonna be kind of shaky at best. But I recommend all my clients like that 4 to 8 week range of being in a caloric deficit to actually lose some fat. You know, the reality is, if you've been bulking, or if you're just kind of in like a maintenance phase of your training and your eating, you're gonna be putting on some fat. There's just no way to deny that. That's just kind of one of the realities. You're hopefully building muscle, but you're also gonna be putting on fat. So what I like to do while I'm on a bulking routine is to integrate mini cuts, right? I'll come in, I'll do a 4-week mini cut, and I'll just trim off some of that fat. I'll just shred down a little bit and then continue on my way. And there's a couple benefits of this. I mean, one, you are potentially reducing how much fat you're gonna put on that bulk. But two, it's kind of also a mental break, because the reality is, if you've been bulking for a long time, you start to look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I don't look very good. And so doing a little bit of a cut can be nice. It can kind of bring your shape back. And also, if you can line it up with like let's say you have like a beach party to go to, or a trip, or whatever it may be, when you can line it up like that, it can be really, really powerful, because you can kind of shred down and get in shape for that trip or for whatever it is that you're doing, and then bulk back up and continue on that process. So for all my clients, we always have them bulk for about 6 months or so, put them on like a mini cut, then continue with the bulking. It's also good for your metabolism too. If you're just constantly hammering yourself with calories, you're gonna want a little bit of some undulation and some break in there. So how exactly do we go about that, right? Because typically, if you're doing a 16 to 24 week cut, what's nice about having that much time to shred down is you don't really have to be in super low calories until like those last 4 to 8 weeks, but you can kind of ease your way into it. But since we are on more of a time crunch, you kind of have to, you're gonna have to drop those calories more and introduce a fair bit of cardio in most cases. Of course, it depends on where you stand, but on average, from what we know, is that 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat. So you got to be in a 3,500 calorie deficit at the end of the week to lose about 1 pound of fat, right? So that's gonna look like 500 calorie deficit every single day. So depending on how much fat you have to lose in that period, you can kind of just do some rough math off of that. You might have to be in a 500 to 800 calorie deficit to get to your goal weight of losing, you know, anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds within a set period of time, like that 4 to 8 week period of time. So you can't do a mini cut and not have some level of extremity. You're gonna have to kind of push your limits a little bit and be in that deeper caloric state. You know, one of the ways to make this easy on yourself is to introduce high volume foods and high fiber foods. So if I'm on lower calories, I'm gonna be eating a lot of salads, I'm gonna be doing a lot of big green stir fries with bell pepper, broccoli, onions, mushrooms, all that good stuff. because it's gonna add a lot of bulk to my food. And so one of the ways that the body signals being satiated or actually being full is by expanding the stomach. And so if you can add a lot of volume to your meals, it can make being on those lower calories a lot easier. Also, I'm gonna cut out any kind of calories from liquids. I'm not gonna drink any kind of drink that might have excess calories in it. So no milks, no sodas, none of that stuff. Because I want all of my calories, if I'm on those lower calories, to be coming just from whole food sources. I'm also gonna cut out any kind of processed stuff. There's just no room for it. It's not satiating. It's not good for your body to begin with. And there's just really no wiggle room. So if I was doing a mini cut, a typical meal plan for like, you know, a single day would look like, wake up in the morning, I would probably do intermittent fasting. I would do about a 14 to 15 hour fast. I would have my first meal, which would probably be maybe like a fruit smoothie with a protein powder, or it'd be egg whites and like a low carb piece of bread or toast. Then I would go train. That would be my pre-training meal. I would train, I'd come home. I might have my meal after training, or I might wait an hour. It doesn't really matter, but I would have some kind of lean protein source, ground turkey, fish, tilapia, chicken breast, whatever it may be, with a very large salad, or again, like a big stir fry. And I'd have a little bit of carbs with that meal. I might have like half a cup of rice. Then in the afternoon, I would throw in, I made a couple of rice cakes with peanut butter, or a little bit of fruit. Again, I find fruit to be really filling, really tasty. And then for dinner, I have, again, lean protein source. I'd have some carbs, because personally, I crave carbs at night. So I'd get a lot of my carbs in towards the end of the day. That's just personal preference. I have a sweet potato, brown rice, white rice, whatever it may be. Again, big veggie meal. We're gonna have salad with that. And then I might have a little bit of room for dessert, right? So we could do like a yogurt, or we could do like a frozen protein kind of concoction to make like a protein ice cream, or you could wiggle in a little bit of room for dessert. But you see, it doesn't have to actually be that difficult to do a mini cut. That's just like what a very rough guideline would look like for when I am cutting. So I hope this gave you guys some information on what a mini cut looks like, how you can do one, what you should be eating, some little tips and tricks in there. And you know, if you're in that place where you've been bulking for a while, or you want to cut down for a specific date, implementing mini cuts can be really, really powerful. So if you guys need any help with that, drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to you. Or if you're looking for coaching, I do offer personal training, and you can just hit the link in my bio and we'll get on the phone and figure out exactly how I can serve you best. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love, Sumner Healey out.